Hello, everyone, and we're going to talk to Therazane.
I am listening.
I'm returning to my throne. I've no desire to see any more of these earthen ring, but you remain welcome here, Blood Elf. If you wish to help us rebuild our realm, perhaps we can help you in return. All things in time. That's pretty much
The
just opening the
earth is your
dailies, I'm pretty sure.
shield.
Yep. Alright, so we're going to do Stonecore, cool?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
No.
Hey, Long. How's it going? Specific dungeon. The Stonecore.
On these?
Yeah, unless you want to do them on the other characters.
Yeah, be easier.
Alright. Let's hop over characters then. You had an upgraded phase engine? Which characters? Alliance or Horde?
Horde.
Okay. I'm fairly certain I can just go to default. You're getting your ass kicked in Xenogears. You hadn't upgraded phase engine. Were you the one that commented on my video a few minutes ago asking about my gear? Because it's going to take me a few minutes after the stream to look into that, because I don't remember exactly what I was wearing at that point. Okay, I think I can go to the portal to depot. I can, okay. So guys, we're gonna just do the Deep Home quest dungeon here as these characters. I would like to get back to doing the dungeons as the characters though. But Wintrig just wants to quickly get through Stonecore because I guess she doesn't like it. However, I would prefer to do Tolvir on these characters because Tolvir is annoying. Once you realized your mistake, you deleted the comment. Okay. Yeah, the engines in that of your gears is super important for taking down enemies in Xenogears. But I'm glad you were able to figure it out. Alright, so this is Stonecore. The history of Stonecore is this is actually where... Wintry, well, since we're the only ones in here, you
How are you?
Read what?
This dwarf.
She doesn't have anything. She doesn't
okay.
even have
Yeah,
like
sure.
a default thing.
So the quest that we would be doing here is called Twilight Documents. We've tailed one of the Twilight Hammer's operatives here. He goes by the name of Millhouse Manastorm. We have reason to believe he's carrying important documents. This is as far as we can safely go, however, without neglecting our duty to defend the Temple of Earth's inner perimeter. Track down Manastorm and retrieve the documents from him. If you guys remember,
Keep your feet
Millhouse
on the
Manastorm
ground.
was an NPC that we saved from the Arcatraz in the Outland. Well, we were in Northrend at the time, but we were doing the Outland dungeons for you at the time. But yeah, tell Pina that she has to shout out every spell she uses before she uses them. That'd make for a good stream.
What? No.
But
I
yeah,
used to have a macro like that. They keep trying to roll.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
yeah, that guy running away is Millhouse. He's that gnome that we saved. For some reason, he's now evil. But this place is where Deathwing actually went when he fled after the War of the Ancients. And this is where he had the metal plates grafted onto him, the Elementium plates.
Aha! I've got you right where I want you. Now!
See you later, Millhouse. Alright, this is Corboris. That was Corboris. So Corboris is simple. He just dives into the ground and like tries to eat you every now and then, and he'll summon a bunch of ads that you got to avoid. He also does a pulsing AoE that I think reduces healing done.
I don't know about that.
something like that. It was the pulsing AoE was annoying for some reason. Or maybe it just silences if the healer's too close.
Oh yeah, I think so. I don't know. But yeah. Why are you going over there?
Hey Fluffy, hello!
Hello.
Yeah, so this is where Deathwing went after the War of the Ancients, and he had the Elementium plates talk down to him. Hey, maybe this boss will drop a map for us. He drops it in both normal and heroic.
Maybe. Does he?
Yep.
Yeah, that first boss used to be a real pain for groups. Nope.
So this guy would drop fire pools under people, and then you'd fly up in the air and drop. Where are you going?
Oh, you know what?
And then he'd drop a bunch of like stalagmites on the ground, and then you'd have to hide behind them to avoid his crystal storm. And there'd always be that paladin or rogue who would just stand out and die.
Yep.
I'd rather be able to just show you guys the abilities, but these characters are just gonna obliterate them. So the next boss is the fun one.
And it's probably worse now that like it's not current, you know.
You remember when you randomly got the Stone Drake? You just wanted some transmog? Man, there's people who hunt this every day, arena to this day, and they still haven't got it. Oh, those Stonecore Bruisers are a new type of ogre model they brought out in this expansion. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I don't remember them before this, but they might have been.
What?
Stonecore Bruisers there. Alright, so this is Ozruk. Let me give you a brief explanation before we pull him. So Ozruk was a real difficult encounter back in the day. He was like a raid boss pretty much with how much people wiped to him. So this boss has basically 2 attacks. He has a frontal cone slam that if it hits your tank, he's dead. Or she's dead. Or if anybody else is in the frontal cone, they die. There's almost no way to live through it. The other attack is called Shatter, and if anybody is within, I think it was 15-20 yards of him when he used it, they died. There's no way to live through that. Oh, and the third ability he has is called Paralyze, and what that would do is it would paralyze you for, I think, 8 seconds or something like that, and once it wore off, it would do 50,000 damage, so at that point, you'd probably die.
Well, he would also cast Shatter.
That's what I said, Shatter is AoE thing.
No, I mean, like,
oh, yeah,
during paralysis.
Yeah, immediately after paralysis was over, he'd start casting Shatter. So if you didn't die from the paralysis as a melee, because you were going to die from Shatter, because you'd most likely be right beside him, but how you beat him is all the melee, every time you hit him, he would put a bleed debuff on you, and sometimes he would throw up Spell Reflect, so you'd use that on purpose to knock a damaging dot back on yourself. So, like, Immolate from a Warlock, or Shadow Word Pain from a Priest. You'd put that on yourself on purpose, because if you took damage while Paralyzed was up, it would remove the debuff, and you could then move away from the dangerous effect. Anyway, the main problem of the fight was actually usually the tank dying. This guy
It could be soloed by a tank, no problem. Like, the tank was the most important role.
Oh my god, Piamette and I duo this guy so many times.
Oh, yeah. Not because we wanted to, but because everyone else died. I tanked him while, like, super drunk one time on my warrior. It was just like, once you know the mechanics, it's really easy.
Yeah.
It's just like people didn't know the mechanics.
Exactly. Fluffy says, doing great. Hey, Windshake, by the way.
Hey!
Turns out your high drive wasn't broken, a cable got loose, and now I feel like a total scrub. Why would you feel like a scrub? I mean, the only thing that's bad there is you gotta remember... The only thing that's bad there is just remember to check your cables every now and then. Alright, so, for this chick, she would create gravity wells, and you'd want to place them in specific areas along here, because she'd target your players. And ads would come in from the northern part, or over there. and they'd run into the gravity well and die. And as they died, the gravity wells would get smaller. That was the basic part of the fight. Sometimes she'd death grip the group to the center, and she'd fly up in the air and throw rocks at you. She's not overly difficult, though.
I think the rocks were like an instant kill.
I'm pretty sure you are correct.
For my death, countless more will fall. The burden is now yours to bear.
Alright, so... where are the
Hearth?
Twilight documents? I never picked those up. Oh, they're at the entrance? Is there a
I
walk
don't
down here? There might be a
there
walk
should be. I don't know.
somewhere. Either way, yeah, you can act. You don't have to stay here.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go find the Twilight documents and turn them in. You played WoW for 10 years. FF14 broke the habit. You will say you're thinking about doing a 1 to 120 marathon run to see how fast you could do it. You've not experienced a whole lot of content to do constantly PvP since 2008. Yeah. Spuffy. I absolutely adore Final Fantasy XIV. It's probably my favorite MMO. Unfortunately, I don't have the desire to do any hardcore raiding anymore. I used to do that in WoW. I did it for a bit. Not really in FF14, but we had a raid group going. Piamette saw fit to destroy that, though. Alright, there is
Sorry, destroy what?
the raid group.
No!
Not now, back then. There we go, back at the entrance. Okay, so now I gotta run over here and get our friendly items. I kid though. What you up to today, Arena? Are you excited to play Divinity tomorrow? To see Steve one last time? To give your goodbyes? Oh, that's right, I forgot about the archaeology dailies you can get here. In these dungeons. There you go. These appear to be the right documents. You open the documents and look for any noteworthy information. And then it just wants us to kill her. And 101 devout followers, which we weren't going to do anyway, so... Although, I'd like to point out that High Priestess Azil has Marrow hair. Alright, so I'm gonna Hearth. Oh, wait, is that? Oh, she's telling her, so there you go. Demon Hunter is what kept you playing during most of Legion. I love Demon Hunter. I have really enjoyed the story of BFA. After that, I kind of lost momentum during the post 120 stuff because they wanted me to do Mythic Dungeons, and none of the people I know that play this are available during the time I'm available to do them, and most of them are Alliance, so that doesn't help. And then the other problem is I tried to do a group finder for it, but everybody wants item levels that are like 20 to 30 item levels higher than what you need for the dungeon, and I'm just like, fuck that. Anyway, that was Stonecore, guys.